Welcome to Weekonthewrist. My name is Chris, and today I'm wearing the Vostok Amphibia, the 710 case with the now iconic Scuba dude. I've been wanting to check out Vostoks for a while, and how can I pass on a price of $100 on Amazon? But you can also get them cheaper on their official website on Marinam if you're willing to wait. So let's check it out. Let's start with the case dimensions. It's got a case diameter of 41 millimeters, lug to lug of 45 millimeters, 15 millimeters thick, 22 millimeter lugs. It uses the Vostok 2416B movement, 31 joules hacking and hand winding with a date complication, 200 meters water resistance, domed acrylic crystal, some pretty decent loom, and it's got a fully polished friction bezel. No clicks here. Let's look at the design of the watch real quick. It's got a cushioned turtle-like case, fully polished to mention. It's got a screw down crown. It's got a screw down case back, the only part that's not polished, with the words Amphibia in Cyrillic. This one came bone stock with a fully polished bracelet. It's got hollow end links. Uses the pin system. It's got a pretty cheap, hard to open clasp. Exhibit A. Sorry about that. Press clasp with 4 micro adjusts. And like I said, not a huge fan of the bracelet, but I think that's the general consensus for the Vostok bracelets anyway. Now on for the good parts. This one's my favorite dial. It's got the iconic Scuba dude at 12 o'clock with a Vostok or Boktok, however you want to prefer as it reads, up there in 12 o'clock. Their symbol on the 6 o'clock and the date complication at 3 o'clock. Note that it has a framed date window. The dial is more like a dull kind of blue on most times, but it really pops on a brighter shade of blue on sunlight. The bezel is fully polished as well, and the 12 o'clock pip doesn't have a loom. But I know a lot of the modders out there changed the bezel to something else, and they look pretty sweet. And now let's talk about the unique quirks of the movement. As most of you know already, or not, Vostok movements, at least the older ones, have this wobbly crown. They say it's part of the design. It's not broken, so don't try returning your Vostok. The movement also does not have a quick date, but there is a trick to it. I'm not sure if it damages the movement or not, so viewer beware, but this is how I've been changing the date. So when adjusting for the date, you make sure that you're in the midnight, right there, and you go past 2. And what you do is go back close to 8 o'clock. And you see the date kind of jump up a little. And now you can come back to midnight. And it should switch right back to the day that you want. Rinse and repeat. There you go. And like I said, viewer beware. Not really a huge problem for me though. Now here's the Vostok Amphibia with the bracelet that it came with. It's all polished. So it's a huge smudge magnet. I'm not really a huge fan of it. And up next is the Barton Elite silicone. This one's in black, 22 mil, with a pumpkin orange underside, with the pop of color a little bit. You can never go wrong with Barton. Still one of my favorite rubber straps out there. Pretty comfortable for the cheap. Now this one's one of my favorite strap combinations. Of course, this is a gray NATO from Ritchie Watch Bands. I'm pretty biased with gray. It's one of my favorite colors for watches. Pretty neutral. Actually tones down the blue. Next up is this NATO strap, again from Ritchie Watch Straps. This one's the khaki one. I think it makes the blue pop for this one. And I think this is my second choice. And now let's talk about my opinions. I like the familiar cushion case. It's really comfortable and a really nice wear, kind of like a turtle. The stats for the price is pretty good, and it's pretty sturdy. And now for the cons. I'm not really a huge fan of how much polishing there is. I would prefer it to be more matte in my opinion. The bracelet that it came with was a huge offender of these. I tried it on the bracelet one day and quickly changed it up to one of these straps. The pip at 12 o'clock doesn't have loom. And the loom could also do some work. As tedious as it can, the quirky date complication as well as the wobbly crown was not a huge problem for me. I would argue that it's actually one of its attractive qualities. It's like one of your special watches that requires special attention. It makes it more a unique experience. The acrylic crystal was also irrelevant for me, since I have Polywash handy to buff it up whenever it gets scuffed. Alright, let me hear your thoughts and comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Weekonthewrist. What do you think about Vostoks? And thank you for watching.